Hello guys, welcome to the movie recap review. Happy watching.
It's gonna happen.
We need gas for this.
Get away with this. The film begins with two best friends, Katie, the uptight planner, and Sloane, her carefree and flirtatious counterpart, eagerly anticipating their upcoming trip. They're heading out of town to spend a month working at Eco-Field Organic Farms, hoping to save up for a shopping spree in New York City. The next morning, Katie's protective uncle, Jason, a local cop, picks them up. They'll spend the night at his place with his girlfriend before heading to the farm. As they settle in, Sloane suggests they adopt fake names while in town, just for fun. Sloane chooses Heather, while Katie settles on Ripley. The following day, Uncle Jason drops them off at a bus station for the final leg of their journey. Before leaving, Jason insists they establish a safety protocol. He instructs Katie to text him a daily code word, progressing alphabetically, as a way to signal everything is fine. For the first day, the word is apple. With an hour to spare before the bus arrives, Katie and Sloane decide to kill time at a nearby cafe. There, they catch the attention of two local men and end up sharing a table. Introducing themselves by their fake names, Heather and Ripley learn the men are brothers named Jed and Lucas. The brothers offer them a ride to the farm. Katie, initially hesitant, relents after catching Sloane's eager, pleading look. Against her better judgment, the two friends climb into the brothers' old blue truck. Things take a dark turn. Jed intentionally drives past the farm where Katie and Sloane work, leaving the women puzzled. Eventually, Jed and Lucas arrive and invite them to their home, where their unsettling mother offers tea before heading to the farm. Inside, Katie discreetly texts her cop uncle using their agreed-upon safe word, signaling she's fine. As they eat pie and drink tea, they begin to feel strange. There's a drug in the tea. Realizing something is wrong, Katie and Sloane try to escape, but Jed and Lucas overpower and knock them unconscious. The next day, Katie and Sloane wake up panicked, chained in the woods. Jed tells them this will be their new home, providing only basic survival supplies. Later, Jed's boss, Boris, arrives, confiscating Katie's phone. He quickly uncovers their fake names and decodes the safe word from her texts. Under pressure, Katie and Sloane admit the word apple is their designated safety word. As things seem to settle, the women prepare for a makeshift bath, but the local sheriff suddenly shows up, gun in hand. Shockingly, he's complicit in the trafficking ring. He assaults Katie while Sloane tries to comfort her afterward. Meanwhile, Katie's uncle Jason grows suspicious when he receives another text using the same safe word as before. Back in the woods, Jed and Lucas welcome a new client. The man selects Sloane and takes her to a trailer, revealing himself to be dangerously unhinged. Katie's uncle Jason grows more concerned when he calls their workplace and learns they never showed up. Convinced they're in danger, he springs into action. Meanwhile, things worsen for Katie and Sloane. A new customer arrives, bigger, more intimidating, and wearing a mask. Jed and Lucas hurriedly cover the women's heads as the masked man approaches. He chooses Sloane and takes her into the trailer. When she returns, visibly more shaken than before, Katie does her best to comfort her, though Sloane remains deeply traumatized. Jason reaches the sheriff's office and confronts the corrupt sheriff we saw earlier. Here, it's revealed that Jason isn't just a cop, he's an FBI agent. He shares his suspicions, explaining he knows Katie and Sloane are in trouble because Katie didn't use a new code word in her latest text. However, the sheriff, being part of the trafficking ring, alerts Boris and the others about Jason's true identity and Katie's deception regarding the safe word. To avoid FBI interference, Boris orders Jed to kill both women and dispose of their bodies. Unbeknownst to them, Katie overhears the plan. Meanwhile, Jason continues his search, visiting the cafe where he last saw Katie and Sloane. He questions the barista, who conveniently recalls the exact details of the truck the women left in, giving Jason a vital lead. The next day, Katie warns Sloane that the kidnappers plan to kill them. Soon after, Jed and Boris arrive, bringing along a scruffy man and leaving him to guard Katie and Sloane. Katie seizes the moment, seducing Scruffy to get close. When the opportunity strikes, she savagely rips his throat with her teeth. The two women free themselves from their chains. As they prepare to escape, the corrupt sheriff arrives, likely intending to finish them off. But before he can act, Katie and Sloane have stolen his car and sped away. Back in town, they stop at a hardware store, gearing up for revenge. They ask the cashier if he knows Boris and his blue truck. Conveniently, he gives them Boris's address. Meanwhile, Uncle Jason ramps up his investigation by visiting the local car insurance office. Pretending he hit a blue truck, he requests information about its owner. At Boris's house, he arrives home only to be ambushed by Katie and Sloane, who throw spiked tennis balls, injuring him severely. Pleading for his life, Boris even offers them money, but the women are unmoved. Just then, Uncle Jason pulls up outside Boris's house. Inside, Katie and Sloane interrogate Boris about the pig-masked man. When he refuses to answer, they impale him with a makeshift spear. By the time Jason enters, the women are gone, leaving him to deal with a dying Boris. As Jason attempts to save him and rush him to the hospital, Katie and Sloane tear off in a car, engines roaring, ready for the next chapter of their escape and revenge. In the next scene, Uncle Jason learns from the sheriff that Boris didn't survive. Growing more concerned, Jason attempts to call Katie's phone. However, as he realizes Jason is onto him, the sheriff draws his gun. Meanwhile, Katie and Sloane arrive at a church where it's revealed that the pig-masked man is the town's priest. Sloane confronts him face to face. With Katie's help, they take him down in a brutal fight. As they drive away, the women appear carefree and content. However, it's revealed that the priest is chained behind their truck. They stop, douse him in gasoline, and set him ablaze, delivering a fiery final blow before driving off. While Katie and Sloane thrive in their newfound vengeance, Uncle Jason is now held captive by the sheriff, who has also captured two new young women. Luckily, Katie and Sloane arrive to rescue them. They overpower the sheriff, tying him up and forcing him into a deadly game of Russian roulette. Their growing instability becomes evident, but after everything they've endured, it's hard to fault them. The sheriff begs for mercy, but Katie ends the game with a final fatal blow to his head. The women free the captives and instruct them to release Uncle Jason. When Jason questions them about the sheriff's death, the captives stay silent, grateful to Katie and Sloane for saving their lives. For their next stop, Katie and Sloane pay a visit to Jed and Lucas's mother. In poetic revenge, they drug her with the same method she had used to incapacitate them days earlier. Katie and Sloane's revenge reaches its brutal climax. They tie up Jed and Lucas's mother, dragging her to the basement where Jed is already bound and gagged. In front of his horrified mother, the women beat Jed to death with baseball bats. Next, they take her to Lucas, who is tied to a chair. Instead of killing him outright, they untie him, hand him a bat, and order him to kill his own mother. When Lucas refuses, they shoot him dead without hesitation. To cover their tracks, they stage his body to make it appear as though he committed suicide, intending to frame him for all the murders. Desperate to save herself, the mother offers them money. Katie coldly rejects the offer, grabbing a lawnmower and using it to gruesomely end her life. In the final scene, Uncle Jason arrives at Katie's house to pick up her and Sloane. Time has clearly passed. He drops them off at the airport, where they excitedly head toward their flight to New York City. As they make their way through the terminal, two young women approach a man holding a sign for the organic farms.
And that's the end of the story. I hope you liked it. Comment down below what movies do you like us to recap next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.